Picture this. Instead of growing up under Omni-Man, Mark Grayson is taken, trained, and molded by Conquest, one of the most brutal Viltrumites to ever exist. No warm home, no human morals, no second chances. From the moment Mark can stand, Conquest treats him like raw material, not a son. Every lesson is pain. Every mistake is punished instantly. There is no good job, no encouragement, only survival. Conquest does not teach kindness. He teaches dominance. He breaks Mark down early, then rebuilds him into something sharper, colder, and far more dangerous than the version we know from Invincible. By age 5, Mark is already fighting. Not training, fighting. Conquest throws him into combat scenarios against creatures, prisoners, anything that can push him to his limit. Mark learns fast because failure hurts. By 10, he understands Viltrumite ideology completely. Strength is law, weakness is death. Emotion is a liability. That human softness that defined the original Mark never gets the chance to grow. It gets burned out of him early. Now here is where things shift. Conquest is not just a brute. He is a believer. He lives for Viltrumite expansion. So Mark grows up, not questioning the Empire, but worshipping it. He does not hesitate like the original Mark did when he learned the truth. For him, there is no truth reveal. This is all he has ever known. Earth is not his home. It is a target. When Mark finally arrives on Earth as a teenager, he does not blend in. He observes. He studies. He waits. Conquest does not send him to make friends. He sends him to evaluate. Mark walks among humans like a predator in disguise. He sees their systems, their governments, their heroes. He does not feel inspired by them. He sees weakness. When he encounters heroes like the Guardians of the Globe, he does not admire them. He tests them, and the results are not pretty. This version of Mark is already operating near Viltrumite elite level because of Conquest's extreme training. He is faster, more ruthless, more precise. Where the original Mark hesitated, this one strikes first. His first major fight on Earth ends in a massacre. The Guardians fall quickly, not because they are weak, but because Mark does not hold back. He goes for lethal blows immediately. No speeches, no hesitation, just efficiency. News spreads fast. Earth realizes something is wrong, but by the time they react, Mark has already begun Phase 2. Systematic destabilization. He destroys key infrastructure, military bases, communication hubs, power grids, not randomly, strategically. Conquest taught him to think like a conqueror, not a brawler. Meanwhile, Omni-Man eventually returns to Earth, expecting to guide his son like before. But what he finds is not a conflicted teenager. He finds a weapon. And for the first time, Omni-Man hesitates, because this Mark does not look at him with confusion or hope. He looks at him like competition. Their clash is inevitable, and it is brutal. The original father-son fight was emotional. This one is tactical. Mark has no emotional attachment. He fights Omni-Man like any other opponent. And because Conquest trained him without restraint, Mark has one key advantage. He does not underestimate his opponent. The fight devastates cities. Buildings collapse. Shockwaves tear through entire regions. Omni-Man realizes too late that this version of Mark is not someone he can lecture or manipulate. This is someone built for war. And here is the twist. Mark wins. Not easily, but decisively. He adapts mid-fight. He exploits Omni-Man's slight hesitation. One opening. That is all he needs. Omni-Man falls. Earth watches as their supposed protector is defeated by his own son. At this point, the Viltrum Empire takes notice. A young Viltrumite who conquered Earth solo. That gets attention. They send more warriors expecting to take control. But Mark does not submit, because Conquest did not raise him to follow orders blindly. He raised him to dominate. When other Viltrumites arrive, Mark challenges them, not out of rebellion, but out of belief that only the strongest should lead. This creates a new dynamic. Instead of Earth versus Viltrum, it becomes a power struggle within the Empire itself. Mark starts eliminating rivals, one by one. Each fight makes him stronger. Each victory builds his reputation. He becomes something rare. A Viltrumite who does not just serve the Empire, but reshapes it. Now look at Earth's perspective. There is no Invincible to protect them. No hero arc, no redemption. They are under the rule of a conqueror who does not care about their lives beyond usefulness. Resistance groups form, but they fail quickly. Mark does not allow prolonged rebellion. He crushes it early, efficiently. The planet becomes a resource hub for the Viltrumite expansion, but under Mark's control, not the Empire's direct command. And this is where Conquest's influence shows the most. Mark does not destroy Earth completely. He controls it, because total destruction wastes potential. He uses humans for labor, research, and strategic advantage. Cold logic, no emotion. Meanwhile, Conquest watches from a distance. Not interfering, observing. This is his creation. And for once, even he feels something close to pride, because Mark surpasses expectations. He is not just strong, he is strategically calculated, relentless. Now imagine the larger universe reacting to this. Characters like Alan the Alien encounter a completely different Mark. There is no alliance, no friendship. Alan tries to negotiate, but Mark sees no benefit. Their encounter turns into a fight, and Alan barely escapes. Word spreads across the galaxy. Earth is no longer a vulnerable planet. It is a fortified stronghold under a rising Viltrumite warlord. The coalition of planets begins preparing for war earlier than in the original timeline. But here is the problem. They are not facing a divided Viltrum Empire. They are facing a unified force led by someone who grew up knowing only one thing. Win at all costs. Over time, Mark evolves further. Not emotionally, but strategically. He starts implementing long-term plans, expanding influence beyond Earth, establishing control points across different systems. He is no longer just Conquest's student. He becomes something more dangerous, a leader with Conquest brutality and a sharper mind. and here is the final shift. Conquest eventually challenges him, not out of anger, but out of tradition. The student must surpass the master. Their fight is legendary. No distractions, no outside interference. Just two Viltrumites who represent pure strength. The battle lasts for days. Planets feel the shockwaves, and in the end, Mark wins again. But this time it costs him. He is injured, not physically alone, mentally, because for the first time he experiences something unfamiliar. Not compassion, not regret, but reflection. Conquest was the only constant in his life, and now he is gone. This creates a small crack in Mark's mindset, not enough to change him completely, but enough to introduce a new variable. Thought. And that is dangerous, because a thinking conqueror is far more unpredictable than a purely brutal one. By this point, Mark stands at the top, not as a hero, not as a villain in the traditional sense, but as a ruler shaped entirely by war. Earth survives, but under control. The galaxy prepares for conflict, but hesitates, because no one fully understands how far Mark will go, and that is the key difference in this timeline. The original Mark fought to protect, this one fights to dominate, and he does not stop.